a couple of years ago. And so I sat with the different members of the family and to decide what would be the best time for us to have this family reunion. And we all came to consensus that the best time would be the third week in June. At that time, we didn't know it was going to be Father's Day this weekend, nor did we know that it was going to be Juneteenth. And how many of us are aware of Juneteenth?
Juneteenth.
Yeah, I know you're from Texas now.
Juneteenth,
yeah.
baby.
Texas got that long history of Juneteenth.
Yeah.
But Juneteenth is the day that the African Americans were actually realized emancipation. Now, Abraham Lincoln signed the Emancipation Proclamation 2.5 years before Juneteenth. But it took that much time for us to realize that we were actually free. And it was in Texas, Galveston, Texas, where the first celebration of our emancipation began. So I have to have a little bit more respect for the great state of Texas now. A little bit more about y'all history there. Praise be to God.
They celebrated hard in Texas.
They celebrated big time there. And it is a what, state holiday.
You take off.
Yes.
They all take off. Not work.
It was the first state in the country that made Juneteenth a state holiday. Now, there's 31 states in this country now that celebrate Juneteenth as a state holiday, but Georgia is not one, so I feel sad for Georgia. But we got our good history side, our good side also. And I want to say one more thing, because it brought to my attention that I said June 19th, and then my niece corrected me. She said, no, it's Juneteenth. I Googled that, okay? And it told me that the word Juneteenth is a blend of June and 19th. But the question I have, maybe y'all can give me some answers to this. Who decided to call it Juneteenth instead of June 19th? Okay. I'm saying this to get us to think and to realize that as African Americans, we should realize we should always question when someone brings these things to us. Why? Who decided this? What was the reason for it? Like, look at the holiday we have in February. The Black History Month is February, right? But it is the shortest month of the year. Who decided February to be our Black History Month? Was it us? No. Okay, see, that's what I'm saying. Who decided to call it Juneteenth?
Well, it must be us. We like to shorten stuff up, you know.
We got to answer that for our next year.
Okay, good. And that'll be a good research paper for somebody, one of your students in college right now. Yeah. Praise be to Allah.
I'm done with papers. So done.
Okay, now one more thing I want to comment on. As parents and also descendants of African Americans, we have a great legacy among us. And this legacy was given to us from a leader named W.D. Mohammed. He told us this. He said many years ago, he's a wise man, he passed away from us last year, but he said that words make people. The words you use, the language you talk every day, it forms your mind, it forms your behavior, it forms your attitudes, your thoughts. All these things are developed or formed or shaped and influenced by the words you use and the words you think. Okay, I'm saying this to say this. And this is on the eve of Father's Day. Our African American men call each other players. You know, I work at UPS and I also in the corrections system, Department of Corrections, and that's the language they use all the time. Oh, what's up, player? And you come to an African American, you call him a player, you know, you got a friend right there. Now, back when I was coming back in the 60s, when I was much younger, we used to call each other soul brothers.
I'm not trying to take it.
But now they don't want to hear the word soul brothers no more. It's easy, you have to be a player, you know, a hustler or a pimp or something like that. Now, again, I want to ask the question. Who gave us that language? We call each other players. Even I heard one of the young men call a young lady at the job. Call her a dog. Yes, a dog. You know, that's another term we use. What's up, dog? Oh, cool, dog. It's all good, dog. Okay, I'm trying to get you to think about the language we use all the time with the youngsters. Why are we calling each other dogs? Okay, we should ask that. That's the question. But when you look at our behavior, especially our youngsters, you know, we drop our pants behind ourselves, you know, You know, and sometimes we want to shine somebody. We bend over and drop it even lower. We call it mooning or shining, what do you call that? Yeah, that kind of behavior. We engage in anti-social behavior in public. Have no respect for rules and regulations and these things, these kind of things. You know, and you know our behavior is in clubs and nightclubs. So what I'm saying is that we engage in, you know, anti-social behavior, violence, and violent acts against each other, robbery, crime, and all this kind of things. So what I'm saying is that this language that we use, it forms the way we behave. Now, when I was coming up, we didn't behave that way as youngsters. Our behavior was not like that. And we called each other soul brothers. But as our language changed, the youngsters called each other dogs. They behaved like dogs. Now, the men, young men, we call ourselves players. Another word we use is another thing we do. You know, Michael Jordan came out with this hairstyle way back in the 80s. It was a bald head hairstyle, right? Y'all recall that? Those who follow Jordan back in a few years back when he was playing. He was about one of the most popular entertainers we had who wore that bald head hairstyle. Isaac Hayes wore it, you know, back in the 60s before him. But Jordan made it real popular. Okay? Now, why is it so popular for African American men just cut all the hair off their head and go bald? This is no accident. Let's think about it. Our men, I'm talking about not the women, our women are pretty much straight. Our men, we have been balling for generations. Having a good time, balling, and neglecting our job as men, neglecting our families, neglecting our role in the community. We want to party all the time. We won't even go to work, just go to the party. So what I'm saying is that this haircut that we wear is an indication of our mentality. We want to ball all the time, party all the time. And we want to be players and hustlers. Now, I remember when I was coming up, we used to play a game called marbles. How many of you youngsters know what marbles is? You know what marbles is, huh? No, you don't know. Any of y'all know what marbles are?
You mean the game marbles?
The game of marbles.
When you try to,
yeah,
like that,
marbles.
Jump the ball and try to pick the ball.
It's the main game we used to play back when I was young. It's real popular among us. Okay? Another game we used to play called cents. We used to pitch pennies. Pitch pennies. You know, 1 penny is 1 cent, 5 pennies is 5 cents. But that's another game we don't want to play among ourselves. So we're missing 2 games, marbles and 5 senses. Look at our men. We have lost our marbles. We have lost our 5 senses. So what I'm saying is that all of this is not an accident. It's not an accident. And the language we use, our behavior, has all been influenced not by us, but it's been influenced by those who control our language and our behavior. So I'm saying this on the eve of Father's Day to say to our men, we need to get our life back. We have lost our life. We have lost our responsibility. Look at the situation of African American families nowadays. Where it's not 80% headed by African American women, and only 20% of families headed by men. That's no accident. When you look at our mentality and the situation of our family lives, you'll see what has happened. We have lost control of our lives. We need to get our life back. We need to get our life back in order. I'm saying this to you, and I'm saying this to you youngsters, but to help us see our situation. So we won't continue to follow in the same pattern that my generation has fallen into on the eve of Father's Day. So one more question. We celebrated Juneteenth yesterday, our emancipation from physical slavery. But are we actually free mentally and morally in this day and time in 2009? No, we're not. We still behave like slaves. We still have slavery habits, and we still been influenced by the master. Secretly, covertly, not overtly, but covertly. And we need to get our life back. Okay? That's the message I have for you all. And I want you all, if you don't remember anything else at this family reunion, I want you to take back with you one thing. It's very, very important. Very important. Words, language, It forms your mentality. Words form people. Watch the words you use. Watch the language you use, because the words and language, it develops, it controls your attitude, it controls your behavior, and it influences your life. And let's clean up the language we use and clean up our words, our language, our attitudes, and these kind of things, because this is how those who don't care about our life control us. We're not the one introducing this language to ourselves. They are introducing this language to us, making us think we're the opposite of this language. And again, I put the question to you. Let's check out the Juneteenth. Let's find out where it came from. And who decided to blend those two words, June 19th, into Juneteenth? And these are my closing remarks. Does anybody else have anything you'd like to say before we close out?
Very good, brother.
My big sister?
Yes,
ma'am.
Last. Anyway, I just, on behalf of the Mohammed, Asafi, Ross, and family, we're just pleased, happy, and grateful that we were able to just pull this off together. And thanks again to my brother and my sister-in-law that we just was able to be here. Thanks to their children who just helped them, Adam and Rama. And thank you all so much for helping your mom and dad with the Simi and Woman. Thanks again for helping your parents pull this beautiful reunion off. And thanks again to mom and her sisters and brothers and family for here. Thanks to everybody just being able to come all the way here to be with us today. So we pray that we have 2 years. Our plan is to have a family reunion in Austin, Texas in 2 years.
Ooh, I'll be graduating. Woo!
Right. Okay.
Woo!
Thanks again. We love you and have a safe trip. And tomorrow we'll get together and have a farewell something, okay?
All right, we start playing some new school for us a little bit. We gonna
New school, okay.
yeah. So if the boss are welcome to do, you know.